Hello humans, welcome back to Your Thoughts Are Valid and I hope you all are doing great. So today we are going to start the last unit of organizational psychology crash course, which is work-related attitudes, leadership, work motivation and reward systems. This is part 14th of the crash course. So let's start with the video. So let's see what all topics we are going to cover today. So today we will be studying about nature of employees' attitude, job satisfaction, job involvement, organizational commitment, workloads, and effects of employee attitudes. So let's start with the video. Okay, so first let's understand what attitude is. So, attitude is the mental state of an individual who responds or is ready to respond for or against objects, situations, etc., with which his or her feelings, interest, liking, desire, and so on are directly or indirectly linked or associated. During the course of his or her development, a person acquires tendencies to respond to objects. These learned cognitive mechanisms are called attitudes. So, attitude is one of the mental state of a person or an individual who either responds or is ready to respond, like either in the favor of objects or either against the object or any situation with his or her feeling, interest, liking, desire, whatever he has developed in from his experiences. And during the course of his or her development, a person acquires tendencies to respond to objects like either in the favor of the object or against the object. And these learned cognitive mechanisms are called attitude. So the word attitude is derived from the Latin term aptus, which means a subjective or mental state of preparation for action. Otherwise, an attitude is an effective byproduct of previous experiences and has its base in inner urges and influences of environment by which a person is surrounded. The meaning of attitude is behavior of conduct regarding some matters. Fowler and Fowler 1968. Okay, so this is the definition given by Fowler and Fowler in 1968 that attitude is behavior of conduct regarding some matters. Then, an attitude, as defined by Harriman in 1950, is a mental state to respond to a situation with a proper reaction, whereas sex may be temporary matters, attitudes are more or less stable. In 1994, Woodworth defined attitude as a set of dispositions, readiness, inclination, tendency to act towards an object according to its characteristics so far as we are acquainted with them. Skinner defined attitude as a generalized disposition towards a group of people and it is promotionally tended. I hope all these definitions are clear to you. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. So these are like few of the definitions. If you are, like you have this unit for your semester and exams, you can be asked to write few definitions for attitude. So you can choose any two or three of these definitions to learn, which you can remember and can write in your exam. So yes, I hope the meaning of attitude is clear to you. It is a mental state, okay, where an individual responds or is ready to respond. Fowler gave definition of attitude as behavior of conduct regarding some matters, while Harriman said that an attitude is a mental state to respond to a situation with a proper reaction. Then Woodward said that attitude is set of dispositions. So yeah, these are few of the definitions which you can remember. Moving on. Types and components of attitudes. Attitudes can be classified into four types: positive attitude, negative attitude, neutral attitude, and second attitude. So, what is positive attitude? A person with positive attitude keeps a positive mindset and thinks about the greater good, whatever may be his or her experiences or circumstances. Persons with positive attitude generally do not care about the obstacles that they face in their personal and professional life. There are different personality traits which come under this category. Some of them are self-confidence, joyfulness, hard work, sincerity, punctuality, decision-making, determination, satisfaction, etc. Negative attitudes. Some of these attitudes are anger, frustration, doubting, jealousy, prejudices, etc. In general, people with such negative attitudes focus on failures and limitations and ignore the positive dimensions of life. Negative people run away from tough situations. Negative attitudes always create hindrances to success, even to optimum utilization of capabilities. Then, neutral attitude. This is another type of attitude which is common. People with this attitude generally tend to ignore their problems in life and wait for others to take care of their problems. They are generally victims of complacency. Sorry, complacency and are often unemotional. They never feel the need to change themselves as they can simply live with the way they are. A person with a neutral attitude will feel disconnected quite often, and that is why having neutral attitude is very bad and should be fixed as soon as possible. A person with neutral attitude succeeds only if he or she adopts a positive attitude. Then second attitude, it is very difficult to deal with persons with second attitude because they find bad in everything and can change a positive idea into negative. Sometimes their negativity in thinking dominates others' thinking as well. So I hope these four attitudes are clear to you. These are quite simple to understand. So let's move on. Components of attitude. So the composition of three aspects from the basis of the act forms the basis of the attitude. Acronym for these three aspects is ABC. So A stands for affective, means emotional. B stands for behavioral, which means cognitive. C stands for cognition, which means information. So information or knowledge, which consists of beliefs, values, and ideas of a person about the object, form, and attitude. Okay, like whatever you know about a situation or an object or a person, whatever beliefs you hold, whatever values you hold, that that knowledge forms the attitude of yours. And this is known as cognitive or information component. This information in reality may or may not be correct. It's not like you are wrong if you believe in something and someone else believe in something else, or you are right and other person is wrong. It's never like that. But attitude is used as a key to an individual's like to know an individual. If we know the attitude of an individual, we can identify some of the traits or personality characteristics a person has. Then emotional or affective component, it involves individuals' feelings and likings. Behavioral component involves behavior of the individual in a specific manner towards an object. To understand the third component, that is cognitive component, it is important that we understand the first two components, which is emotional component and behavior. Direct experience of a person in association with previous attitude towards the objects, family, peer group, economic status, mass media are different sources which play a major role in the formation of one's attitude. All the attitudes of an individual may not be consciously held. In some cases, individuals may not be aware of their own positive or negative attitudes and the source of attitude which they possess. Attitudes formed by direct experiences resist change, whereas attitudes formed by social learning may change easily. If the individual experience is positive, it may lead to the formation and sustenance of positive attitude. Okay. So I hope it is clear to you that these three components, affective, behavioral, and cognition. So let's move on. Types of attitude. Okay, so actually, just a minute. Yeah. So types of attitude we are understanding. This I wrote by mistake. So just look at the types of attitude. In the types of attitude, we are going to learn three major concepts. First is job satisfaction. Second is job involvement. Third is organizational commitment. So first is job satisfaction, which is related to general attitude towards the job. A person having a high level of satisfaction will generally hold a positive attitude, while dissatisfied people will generally display negative attitude towards life. When we talk about attitude, we generally speak about job satisfaction because they are interrelated in organizational behavior. Then job involvement. Job involvement refers to the degree to which a person identifies himself psychologically with his job, actively participates and considers his perceived performance level important to self-worth. High level of involvement indicates that the individual cares for his job that has an impact on high productivity. Higher the job satisfaction, lower will be the absenteeism and employee turnover. And the third type of attitude is organizational commitment, which refers to the degree to which an employee identifies himself with the organizational goals and wishes to maintain membership in the organization. He wants to belong to the organization. Uh, and take an initiative. Sorry, I forgot to wrote initiative. So basically, sorry, I need to write it. Wait. Yes. So, mm, initiative. Sorry for the confusion in notes. I will make the changes and I will upload the PDF on Google Classroom. I will make these changes. Till then, just try to understand. So basically, an employee wants to feel that he or she has an important role in the organization for which they want to take initiatives. They want their decisions to be considered. So that comes under organizational commitment. So basically, when their decisions are accepted, their decisions are carried out, then they can identify themselves with the organization and thus can be really motivated towards their work. So this is about organizational commitment. So we studied about types of job attitude, in which we studied about job satisfaction, job involvement, and organizational commitment. Moving on, job satisfaction. Now we need to understand job satisfaction in detail because this is a very important component. So Siegel and Lance in 1987 stated that job satisfaction is an emotional response defining the degree to which people like their job. Okay, so job satisfaction is nothing but emotional response which defines the degree to which people like their job. When employees are satisfied, they tend to care more about the quality of their work. They are more committed to the organization. They have higher retention rates and they are generally more productive. Job satisfaction refers to a person's feeling of satisfaction on the job, which acts as a motivation to work. It is not the self satisfaction, happiness, or self-contentment, but the satisfaction on the job. Job satisfaction relates to the total relationship between an individual and the employer for which he is paid. Satisfaction means the simple feeling of attainment of any goal or objective. Job dissatisfaction brings an absence of motivation at work. Hoplock describes job satisfaction as any combination of psychological, physiological, and environmental circumstances that cause a person truthfully to say that I am satisfied with my job. Job satisfaction is defined as the pleasurable emotional state resulting from the appraisal of one's job as achieving or facilitating the achievement of one's job values. In contrast, job dissatisfaction is defined as the unpleasurable emotional state resulting from the appraisal of one's job as frustrating or blocking the attainment of one's job values or as entailing disvalues. However, both satisfaction and dissatisfaction were seen as a function of the perceived relationship between what one perceives it as offering or entailing. I hope it's clear till here. Then let's move on. we will understand job satisfaction in a little bit more detail. So, job satisfaction is a collection of positive or negative feelings towards one's job. It shows the amount of satisfaction towards the job. It is the result of the reciprocal relationship between the employee's expectations and the rewards that are received from the employer. Job satisfaction is a part of life and it is influenced by a host of factors, the nature of the job, one's inclination, and the job environment. So, what is the concept of job satisfaction? So, Locke in 1976 defined job satisfaction as an emotional feeling developed as a byproduct of job experience. It is a complex phenomena which reflects and affects cognitive, affective, and motor behaviors of an employee. Feeling, thinking, and action are involved in job satisfaction. Blum in 1968 said that job satisfaction as the summation of likes and dislikes towards the job. Then what is the importance of job satisfaction? So job satisfaction trends can affect labor market behavior and influence work productivity, work effort, employee absenteeism, and staff turnover. Moreover, job satisfaction is considered a strong predictor of overall individual well-being as well as a good predictor of intentions or decisions of employees to leave a job. Job satisfaction is also important in everyday life. Organizations have significant effects on the people who work for them, and some of those effects are reflected in how people feel about their work. This makes job satisfaction an issue of substantial importance for both employers and employees. Moving on. As a result, we can understand that job satisfaction is an important job attitude. As an attitude, like all others, job satisfaction has three components, which are affective, cognitive, behavioral. So, what is affective component? It is the emotional response to the job situation. For example, I feel good about my job. What is the cognitive component? So it is the appraisal on the extent to which the job fulfills important needs associated with one's work. For example, my job helps me to achieve my goals. Then there is behavioral component. It is the intention to engage in specific behaviors as manifested in productivity, absenteeism, turnover, and forms of organizational citizenship. For example, I want to give my best on the job. Moving on, it has three important dimensions: job satisfaction only. So job satisfaction can be measured by the emotional response to a job situation, hence it cannot be seen and it can only be inferred. Job satisfaction is related to what you actually get as reward and what you expect to get. If the difference between the actual reward and expectation is minimum or negligible, then a person will display a positive attitude. And if there is wide difference between the two, a person will display a negative attitude towards his job, and therefore the satisfaction level will be low. Then third one is job satisfaction is related to job dimensions. These can be expressed in terms of job content, remuneration, attitude of co-workers, and opportunity of growth that job is able to provide in terms of promotion. And last but not least, the expert, loyal, and experienced leadership is available in terms of supervision. Now let's move on. Factors determining job satisfaction. What are some of the important factors that determine job satisfaction? So first one is work content. So content of the work itself is a major source of satisfaction. Like the work must be challenging for the employee. The content of the work should be encouraging and interesting. Positive feedback from the company must be there, and autonomy has been considered to be very important for motivation of employees. Too tough or job having too little challenge brings frustration and feeling of failure. Hence, the job should be moderately tough so that the individual has to stretch his ability, imagination, and skills. So basically, the job should not be too easy, nor too tough, just moderately difficult. So the employee finds it challenging, and interesting. Once such job is completed successfully, worker gets a great sense of satisfaction. Then second factor which determines job satisfaction among employees is pay and promotion policy. Salary and wages play decisive part in the study of job satisfaction. Equitable rewards is multi-dimensional in nature. Pay system and promotion policy of the organization must be just, unambiguous, and in line with the prevalent industry norms and employee expectations. Employee wages and salary must ensure him the social status and should be able to fulfill the expectations. Organizations should ensure that their policies are growth oriented and incremental in nature so that employees take on an additional responsibility voluntarily. Apart from financial benefits, organization must provide adequate perks and non-financial benefits so that they are motivated and display high level of satisfaction. Then third factor is supportive working condition. Working conditions have a modest but lasting effect on job satisfaction. Layout of workplace must be ideally suited from operational point of view, and the employee should display great degree of satisfaction. Light, ventilation, cleanliness, enough space for work, immediate availability of supervision, adequate latest tools, and generally good surrounding will definitely add to job satisfaction. Then work group of multi-skilled persons with one goal will be able to function effectively if they are friendly and cooperative. The work group serves as a source of support, comfort, advice, and assistance to individual workers. A good work group makes the job more enjoyable. The factor of work group support is essential for job satisfaction. If the reverse conditions prevail, the people may not be able to get along with each other and the level of job satisfaction will be reduced. Then the last key factors are, first one is supervision and then personality job fit. So under supervision, qualified supervisor should be available for advice, guidance, and problem solving. Supervisor should be placed close to the place of work and should be available. They should take personal interest in the affair of employees both on personal and official level. Supervision is related to leadership. The group prefer more freedom of work in relation to work hours, time management, frequent breaks between work hours, and autonomy as long as job is completed in time. There is a participative management and work has to meet the established standards in terms of quality and quantity. Levels might have been reduced, but not the value of supervision as a factor of job satisfaction. Then personality job fit, individual should be assigned the job that suit their interest. Persons having analytical approach should be assigned job in R&D department so that their level of job satisfaction increases. Then let's come on to the second type of attitude, which is organizational commitment. So organizational commitment is defined as a strong desire to remain member of a particular organization. Second, willingness to exert high level of effort on behalf of the organization. And third, a definite belief in and acceptance of value and goals of the organization. In other words, employees display an attitude of belonging to the organization, a sense of my organization. They continue to do so even after they leave the organization. Of late, a concept of organizational citizenship is used. It indicates a sense of belonging to a particular organization as if you were citizen of that organization, but it depends as to the contribution made by organization to have developed such feelings. Moving on to work mode, also known as workplace mode or employee mode. It is a concept within organizational psychology that refers to the emotional state or disposition of individuals within a work environment. It encompasses ranges of emotions and feelings that employees experience while at work, which can influence their attitude, behavior, performance, and overall well-being. Organizational psychologists study work mode because it plays a crucial role in determining various aspects of individuals and organizational functioning. Mood of employees can have a significant impact on their performance. Positive moods such as happiness and enthusiasm are often associated with higher level of creativity, problem solving, and task and management. On the other hand, negative moods like frustration or anxiety can lead to a decreased productivity, poor decision making, and impaired concentration. Work mood is closely related to job satisfaction. Employees with positive moods tend to report higher levels of job satisfaction and are more likely to have positive perception of their work environment, colleagues, and tasks. Positive work moods are linked to higher levels of employee engagement, where individuals are more likely to be emotionally committed to their work, feel a sense of purpose, and go beyond their basic job requirements. Moving on, work mood can influence the overall organizational culture. A positive work mood among employees can contribute to more positive and supportive workplace culture, fostering collaboration, innovation, and a sense of belonging. Work mood can be contagious. When employees interacts with colleagues who are in a particular mood, they may start to mirror or adopt the mood. This can lead to a ripple effect impacting the overall mood and atmosphere of the workplace. Leaders and managers play a critical role in shaping work mood. Their behavior, communication, and leadership styles can impact how employees feel about their work and the organization. Positive and supportive leadership can help foster positive work moods. Negative work moods, particularly those associated with chronic stress, frustration, or moods, can lead to increased absenteeism, turnover, and decreased morale. Organizations can implement various strategies to promote positive work moods. These might include creating a supportive and inclusive work environment, providing opportunities for skill development and growth, recognizing and rewarding achievements, and offering resources for managing stress and maintaining work life balance. Researchers and practitioners in organizational psychology use various tools and assessments to measure work mood. These might involve self report surveys, interviews, or observation methods to gauge the emotional well being of employees. In conclusion, work mood is a multifaceted aspect of organizational psychology that plays a vital role in shaping employee attitudes, behaviors, and overall workplace dynamics. Understanding and managing work mood can contribute to improved employee well being, performance, and organizational success. Then let's move on. Effect of employees' attitudes. So types of employee attitudes. First, we need to understand that. So based on the findings of different studies, attitudes of the employee generally fit into one of the six categories given below. So first is fulfillment seekers. The people with these attitudes believe that a job should provide opportunity to show their talent. They would not bother about payment and other benefits. Then high achievers have certain ambitions to achieve in their life through their career. They show initiative in their work and attain higher positions as engineers, doctors, and lawyers. Then clock punchers, they feel jobs and career are different. Their approach to job is ambivalent. Then risk takers, they are ready to take risk to achieve financial success. Then climbers, they seek security in job and standing income. So once they get a job, uh, they will not try for better jobs. They will stay in a job for a long time and with one employer. This attitude is opposite to risk-taking attitude. And then the last is paycheck cashers. So they give preference to jobs which have higher wages rather than jobs that have opportunity to show their talent. The factor of financial status dominates their thinking. There are a number of methods for measuring employee attitudes, such as conducting focus groups, interviewing employees, or carrying out employee surveys. Now let's study factors affecting attitude. So there are four types of factors: psychological, family, society, economic. So let's start with psychological. So attitude of a person is determined by many factors like ideas, values, beliefs, perceptions, etc. All these have a role in determining a person's attitude. Values are ideals or guiding principles in one's life. Home is the first school for the child to learn good and bad to develop proper attitudes. Family plays an important role in the formation of attitudes. Then at the societal level, every person will be influenced by the society and the culture to which he belongs. His ideas, values, and attitudes will reflect the conditions of the society. Then, economic attitudes are also affected by changes in position, compensation, financial conditions of the workplace, etc. Then, changing attitudes. So, attitudes may change with time, environment, and with proper attention towards them. Positive attitudes of employees towards their work result in better performance. An employee who feels that he is not taken care of by the organization will show a poor performance because of his negative attitude. By providing rewards, by encouraging their efforts, by attending to their problems, administrative authorities can transform wholly or partially the negative attitude of the employees. Moving on, types of changing attitudes. So first is congruent change. Congruent change means though the original attitude is not changed completely, yet the intensity of feeling of the attitude is adjusted. For example, a person who wastes money in gambling may gamble less through the impact of counseling. A negative attitude may persist, but its intensity can be reduced. Then second type of change is incongruent change, which means a change in attitude from a negative direction to a positive one. For example, a person who has been disliking his boss starts liking him. Then, what are the barriers in changing attitudes? First is prior commitment. Sometimes a goal seeker who is committed to work will not show interest to change his course of action. Then low credibility. It is tendency of employees not to respond to the changes suggested by a senior because they do not have trust in him. Then degree of fear. If high level warnings are not given by the employer, then there will be a low level of fear. Then lack of resources, when there is a gap between the needed resources for the fructification of programs and the availability of resources, it becomes difficult for the organizations to change employees' attitude. Then the last one is improper reward system. An inadequate reward system in the organization also changes the attitude of employees. For example, lack of transparency in the reward system may be a factor in hardening of attitudes towards the organization. Then what are the ways of changing attitudes? Attitudes can be changed by different ways. First is insufficient information develops negative attitude, and we can address it by providing new information that will help to change the attitude of employee. Attitudes may change through direct experience by resolving discrepancies between attitudes and behaviors through persuasion of friends and peers. Since a person's attitudes are influenced by his peer or influence groups, one way to change the attitude is to modify one or the other. Fear can also change attitude. A situational change can transform attitude. Well established attitudes tend to be resistant to change, but flexible attitude may be more amenable to change. So that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any doubt, please do ask in the comment section, and I will see you all in the next video.